Okay, welcome to this information session on the Bachelor's program in Business Administration at the University of Amsterdam. My name is Frank Belschak. I'm a professor at the Amsterdam Business School and I'm the director of the Bachelor's program in Business Administration. Just let me say right at the beginning, if you should have any kind of questions that are not answered in this presentation, please feel free to use the chat. My colleagues and also myself after this presentation will be there in the chat for you and try and answer your questions. So, what will I talk about today? I would like to share with you the what, the why and the how. So, what is business administration and this program about? Why should you choose for our program? And how do you proceed if you would find this program interesting? So what is business administration? For the Dutch people who watch this video, business administration is the same as bedrijfskunde. For the international students, we didn't make this distinction between business administration and international business administration, as in our perception, business administration nowadays can't be done differently than internationally. So I think that by definition, business administration's got to be international because of the global economy. So what is this program about at our university? In the first year you would start out with the 4 pillars, because business administration is a multidisciplinary study. Well, you have monodisciplinary studies, like for instance mathematics. You study mathematics, you get mathematics, one discipline. You study business administration, you start out with a business problem that you would like to solve. And for solving the problem, use whatever discipline is useful. So there are several disciplines that are part of business administration. This is why it's multidisciplinary. And this is why we have 4 pillars. And those 4 pillars that you will meet in the first year are the organization, which is basically at the core of business administration, the economy, which is the context in which the organization is positioned, the people, which are the main asset of organizations, people make the organization, and the methods, because business administration is actually evidence-based, which means that all the theories and models that we're going to tell you are proven in the field that they work. And you need to understand how that works, and it's an academic study, so there are also methods needed. So in the first year you will see economics, principles of economics, that's the economy component. You have strategy and organization. Then you have the people side, organizational behavior, and you have business research methods and quantitative data analysis, which is methods. Next to that, you can also see the different projects. Projects are slightly different. While our general lectures are always a combination of a general lecture and a more small-scale tutorial in which you will discuss what you have heard in the lectures, you will get to know applications and cases. But the projects are different in the sense that this is group work. So you, together with your fellow students in a group of approximately 5 people, will be together and you'll be actively doing something. So it's more skills-oriented, you could say. And these projects will be your best friend during the first 2 years. Every half year you get another project on a new topic. You start out with academic reading and writing skills, and you end up in the second year with setting up your own business. So, after the first year and the 4 pillars, you will need to apply them to business administration topics. So what you will meet then in terms of topics is basically the business function, or you could say the different departments in a company. So a marketing department, a finance department, an accounting department, innovation, information and data management, and so on. And it starts to become more and more complex, the program. So in the beginning, in marketing, for instance, you build on the methods, economics, psychology, so the people side. You bring that together to answer marketing questions. And later on in the second semester, you will see topics like innovation or internationalization, which basically refer to all of the different functions. So international business has finance aspects, marketing aspects, accounting aspects. So it gets more and more complex. And that means that after those first 2 years, you have a pretty broad and comprehensive knowledge of business administration, which is good because that offers us the opportunity to basically give you the third year free to fill it in as you see fit, so tailor your own program. I think that this is one of the big strengths of the Bachelor's in Business Administration at the University of Amsterdam. So, in the first semester, you have the option to choose between 3 different choices. First one, that would be internationalization. So you can go abroad. So the UvA, the University of Amsterdam, is a big university which has partner universities in more than 100 countries in the world. So if you would like to go abroad with our exchange program, you can choose from more than 100 different partner universities all over the world. Second option, if you decide that maybe internationalization is not your thing, but rather you're broadly interested. Let's say philosophy was always your big dream, but you decided to go for business administration. Well, now is your chance. Broadening basically means that you can choose for minor program, which is a mini bachelor's program, you could say, of only half a year, in which you just broaden your academic scope. Look a little bit further than just business administration. And again, the size of the University of Amsterdam is a big strength here. We have more than 60 minor programs in English language and more than 100 in Dutch language, which you can choose from. So starting from art history over, data science, physics, philosophy, sociology, you name it, we got it. So if really broadening of scope is your big dream, here is the space for it. And last not least, well, maybe you might have the idea that it's good to collect already some practical experience during your study. Because quite often you get to hear, okay, you just graduated, but this was at academia and we need people with practical experience. So first do an internship. Well, of course you can integrate your internship already in your study and get credits for it. And the right place for that would be the first semester of year number 3. So do an internship and complement it neatly with our business lab electives, which are more skills-oriented, more practice-oriented electives that you can run next to doing your internship, which would be something like consulting methods or business analytics or cross-cultural, intercultural skills. Second semester of year 3, here you have the opportunity to specialize. Quite often in the 3rd year, you get some freedom in the program, in your business administration programs at other universities, so you can pick between different electives. Well, we go a step further, we take that to a different level, so you can pick the whole 2nd semester, which basically means 4 different courses and your bachelor's thesis you all have to do in the area of your specialization. And those areas of specialization are management in the digital age, accounting, finance, and entrepreneurship, innovation, and creativity. And now I get back to the very beginning. So the question is, what is business administration? Well, I'd like to illustrate that by using a small case. So a case basically means just a company that probably all of you know. Let's just pick one, like, let's say, Google. So Google, is a pretty big multinational company which has different components like Google Drive, Google Maps, Google Chrome, the web browser, the Android system, operation system. So let's take a look at what the 4 different specializations cover, and so business administration does cover, by using Google as an example. So from a management perspective, management basically covers, the management perspective covers topics like strategy, marketing, management, HRM. So typical questions would be like let's say, marketing strategy perspective. How can Google increase the market share of its web browser? So, Google Chrome, how to outperform, let's say, Internet Explorer. Well, one thing would be to make use of synergies, like you have the Android system. Why not pre-install Google Chrome in the same way like Internet Explorer is pre-installed for all Windows systems? So that would be a simple way to do that. Of course, reality is more complex, so you have to be careful of antitrust laws to protect consumers. So, but that would be one way. Another thing would be Google obviously is a knowledge-intensive company, so human capital, the people are very important. So how do you find the best people and get them to work there and retain them and keep them motivated and satisfied? So that will be also a question from the management perspective. Finance. Finance is about getting money in and spending money. So financing and investing. So talking about finance, why is Google a stock company? So different ways how to get money, how to get funding. And one way is, for instance, to go to the stock market. That comes with disadvantages. So maybe you have followed the press a couple of months ago when Elon Musk was talking about stepping away from the stock market because Tesla was under too much pressure there. So different options. Finance will help you to make a well-informed choice where to get your funding. And another aspect that I have not yet mentioned is, for instance, is it better to buy stocks from just one company or from several ones? Well, what I'm referring to here is risk minimization or risk optimization, because quite often it's a little bit of a trade-off. It's either profit maximization, but high profit often comes with high risk. So what to choose? So risk management is also an important topic in finance. Accounting. Well, accounting is about bookkeeping and budgeting, if you want to keep it simple. Of course, it's more complex, but those are probably relevant keywords here. So for instance, what is the value of an internet search engine? Internet search is something which is very intangible. So it's just a program. So what is its value? Well, you need to know that because as a company, you need to publish certain kind of information. So you have a profit and loss account, you have a balance, and this has to be published on a yearly basis. So how to put it in there, what to put in there, how to do that correctly. This is part of financial accounting. Another relevant question would be, can we offer, for instance, our web browser, Google Chrome, for free? So what are the profits and what is the income that is linked or can be linked to the web browser? Well, you know that if you use it, you will probably leave a history that Google might use and then send you more or better targeted advertisements. So they can approach companies and say, well, we know some people who might be interested in whatever, baby clothing, because you have been looking somewhere for baby clothing, so you would get more targeted advertisements. And Google can sell it. So it creates income, but it also has costs. So you need to really monitor your costs and your profits. And this is also part of accounting and then management accounting. Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is more than just entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is also about innovation and creativity. So entrepreneurship is not only relevant when you're setting up your own company, but also all other existing companies are really interested in people with an entrepreneurial attitude. So if you just for the fun of it check advertisements, job advertisements, you will see that quite often you will see entrepreneurial attitude as one of the requirements in the advertisement text. So companies are interested that there are people who are innovative, who think ahead, who take charge, who are proactive, who think, what can I contribute to the company, who are not just sitting there waiting for their boss to tell them what to do, but rather they just start their own project. So how can you stimulate that? What would be ways how to do it? And you can do it, for instance, by creating a creative environment. I don't know whether you have seen pictures from Google headquarters on the internet. So it screams creativity. At a certain moment, Google has also offered quite some time, well, work time actually, for your pet project, for some side project that people could work on, something that people would find really interesting and relevant, and your employer pays for it. So people love that. And actually, a lot of interesting things like Twitter, Google Maps, or Groupon were initially started as side projects. So it stimulates creativity and innovation. And another question would be, if you talk about new business, and this is more the strategic side, so what new business activities should Google launch? And then you could see that, well, maybe you followed the media, but a logical choice would be, for instance, something like self-driving cars, because Google does have already some information on navigation, like the navigation software Waze or Google Maps, and they have programming skills, obviously, and artificial intelligence expertise. So bring that all together and use it for creating self-driving cars. So they're big competitors in that market. So that would be all business administration topics that I just started about, that I just explained. Okay, so now you know what the study is about, the program is about, what different topics are we going to cover. Now let's talk what happens after your study. Well, realistically, in the Netherlands, 3 out of 4 people who have graduated as a bachelor's in business administration continue with a master's. So a master's in business administration. And of course, people who have finished their bachelor's in business administration are unconditionally able to enter and continue their study in the Masters of Business Administration, which we also offer in a lot of different flavors, with a lot of different tracks ranging from leadership and management over marketing, international business to digital business. So we cover a lot, the whole range basically of different topics of business administration in our Masters. Entrepreneurship too. So, and after that, what could you do? What are your career prospects? Well, as somebody who has a specialization knowledge in entrepreneurship, you could, for instance, set up your own business, a traditional or an e-business. You can also be an employee at a startup because you are especially aware of the problems that new companies are facing. But you can also work at an innovation department in a big company. As an accounting person, you can be an accountant, surprise, or a controller or a financial advisor. If you specialize in finance, you can work for a bank, you can become a financial advisor, a business analyst, project manager, risk manager. And with a management specialization, you're more or less targeting strategic analyst, HR manager, sales manager, marketer, or also a consultant, and much more. So this is the nice thing. Basically, any kind of company, any kind of organization, be it for-profit or non-profit, private sector, governmental organization, they all need to be professionally managed, which means they all need people with a business administration background. And to give you an idea where our graduates might end up, so this is the top 15 companies who hired our graduates. And to give a little bit of an idea what this is about, what you can see back here is the big accounting offices and consultancies. So you have PricewaterhouseCoopers, you have Deloitte, you have KPMG, you have Ernst & Young. You see the big banks in the Dutch market, ING Bank, Rabobank, and ABN AMRO Bank. And you can see big multinationals like Shell, Philips, Unilever, Ahold Delhaize. And you can also see non-governmental organizations like the University of Applied Sciences of Amsterdam, like the tax office and the city of Amsterdam. So also our host, the city of Amsterdam, is greedily trying to get our graduates. So why should you study business administration at the University of Amsterdam? Well, I could make big stories about it. I tried to sell it already to some extent by saying that we're unique in offering you so much freedom. But I can also just leave the word for our students. So this is what some students said. Business administration at the University of Amsterdam is the start of a career path with many opportunities. So here you can find back the many opportunities in the 3rd year. So this is a unique feature that you're basically more or less totally free to tailor your own program in the 1st semester and the 2nd semester of the 3rd year. Another big opportunity, which I probably should also mention, is the city of Amsterdam. So you've seen it already in terms of employers, so the job market here is very good. Amsterdam is basically a truly international city and the center of business life in the Netherlands, which obviously comes with lots of opportunities for internships, but also for jobs afterwards. And everybody speaks English. It's a truly international city. Another student said, with business administration at the University of Amsterdam, you get to do projects that are exciting and real-world relevant right from the start. Well, that refers to, I've mentioned it in the beginning when I've shown you the program, the projects, the group-based skills-oriented work that runs for the whole 2 first years. So there really you go out there, you get in touch with companies, you do interviews with employees, discuss with them something like topics like job satisfaction and what they really like about their company. So you're really out there, and it ends really in the second year with setting up your own business. So this is really exciting, and I do understand what Brent means when he refers to this project as an exciting part of the program. So I hope that by now you've learned something about the what and the why, and now for the how. What are next steps? What should you do if what you've heard so far is really to your liking? Well, first thing you should do is explore the website, because what you want to avoid at all costs is that you take a quick decision and afterwards you regret it. That's high cost for everybody. So please do inform yourself. Explore our website, explore other universities, and see where you have a good feeling, where you feel the click, where you feel the fit. Compare the different programs and see where the difference is. I've tried to emphasize a little bit where I feel that we are unique, but see for yourself and compare it yourself. And if you should decide that indeed there is a good fit between you and the University of Amsterdam's program in business administration, well, please do apply. The deadline for applications is January 15, so it's coming in. So please inform yourself and then make a choice within the next month. And now you will get to hear some more specific information about the application and how it works and what are the different steps that you need to take and tests you need to do. And my colleague Eva from admissions will explain now how that works.
Yes, hello. My name is Eva, and I am the coordinator of the selection procedure. I was just on the chat as well, trying to answer all your questions, but you asked quite a lot. We will keep the chat open until 3 o'clock, so you can ask everything that you still want to know. The most important things I will point out first. We only accept 750 first-year students for this bachelor because it's a selective program. That means, first of all, that the deadline is pretty soon. You have to apply both in StudyLink and in Embark before the 15th of January. All applicants must also complete a selection procedure, which consists, first of all, of your providing us with a complete file so that we can determine your GPA, which counts for 50%, and completing a selection test, which also counts for the other 50%. So here you see a step-by-step overview of all the things that you need to do in order to complete the application and selection procedure. Basically it's 6 steps, and I will go through them now with you, and you can also ask your questions on the chat. The first step is pretty basic. It is to check the entry requirements website to see if you are actually eligible for admission. You can find our entry requirements in the hamburger menu on the side, the drop-down menu, and then selecting admission, enrollment, and selection. There are 3 requirements you need to check. First, your high school diploma, whether it's equivalent to Dutch VWO, then your mathematics proficiency and your English proficiency. Once you are sure that you meet or are on track to meet the entry requirements, we encourage you to apply. And you do that by first going to StudyLink, which is the system for registration to a Dutch university. We use that in the Netherlands for every university. The deadline for doing so is the 15th of January, like I said before. And after that, you will receive 2 emails. One will contain your student number, which is called your UvA Net ID. And the other one is a link with an invitation to apply in Embark, which is our online application system. Once you have received both these emails, you are ready for the next step. If you haven't received them, check your spam folder or else contact us. The third step is to apply in Embark, and you have to fill out an application form there. It's an application system that we use at our university's Faculty of Economics and Business, and also for this the deadline is the 15th of January. You have to complete a form with a few questions, you have to upload required documents, and you have to choose your selection test date. Once you've done all of that and you are living not in the Netherlands but abroad, they will also ask you to select a supervisor for the test, because you will have to take the test in your home country under supervision. Once you've done all of that and your application in StudyLink and Embark are both sent before the 15th of January, you have a complete application. Then the fourth step, after, the admissions office will then, in the meantime, assess your application and see if you are eligible for admission. But in the meantime, you can start by preparing for the selection test. Because in February, you will receive an invitation to join our online learning environment Canvas, where you can practice for the selection test. The selection test itself will be 2.5 hours long, and it will cover the subjects mathematics, strategy and organization, and economics. Like I said, you can prepare online for this a week long. You can watch some videos with tutorials from teachers of the first year courses. You'll get some some essays to read and also some practice questions. And after this, you will need to take the selection test. If you live in the Netherlands, you will take the test on our campus in Amsterdam on Saturday the 22nd of February or Saturday the 29th of February. If you live abroad, you take your test in your home country with a supervisor on Monday the 24th of February or Monday the 2nd of March. All details will be sent to you by email in February, and if you have a supervisor, it will also be sent to the supervisor so that everybody is informed. Then, after you have done all these steps and you've sent us your documents and you have completed the selection test, you will receive a ranking number. The ranking number is composed of the results of your selection test and your results from school. So basically it's 50-50 and it ranks you in comparison to the other students. You will receive this number on the 15th of April, so you have to wait for a little bit after your selection test. And people with a ranking number between 1 and 750 will get a place into the program straight away. People with number 751 and higher will be placed on a waiting list. So if you receive this this offer to study, so if you are within number 1 to 750, you get a notification from StudyLink and you must respond to the offer that you received within 14 days. If you decline or you forget or you do not respond within 14 days, you will lose your opportunity to start the business administration program because your place will go to the next person on the waiting list. New offers are being sent out between the 15th of April and the 1st of August. So as soon as somebody declines, it can go on over the summer before you hear if you get a place into the program. So if you do not receive an offer to study straight away, you still have a chance to be able to start. That's quite a lot of information. Basically, what you need to remember are these numbers. There are 750 places in the program. The deadline is very strict. It's the 15th of January. There are 6 steps you need to complete. There's 1 mandatory selection test. 15th of April, you will get your ranking number, which is composed of 50% GPA, 50% selection test. And for 14 days, you can accept your offer to study. And after that, your offer will go to the next person. Well, the chat will stay open for a while. If you have any more questions about specific parts of this application procedure, so for example, StudyLink, how do I do that, or how does Embark work, you can look on our YouTube channel, because there are many videos that are explaining the exact things you need to do and you need to fill out in order to complete your applications. We also have a website with like all of this information on it, with all diplomas that are accepted for entry, for all the diplomas that need an extra year of university, everything like that. And also from tomorrow on, you will find our webinar on YouTube. If you have any questions about the admissions procedure specifically, you can always contact the admissions office via juva.nl/admissions-eb. That's it for now, I think. Frank, do you have any more? Well, thank you for watching. We will keep the chat open, and then If you have any more new questions, keep them coming.